Have you faced some big challenges in your life? You are not alone. Being inspired by others who have faced similar challenges is what helps shine light on your path. And here are those stories. Hi, I'm Greg Crawford, and welcome to the Challenge to Triumph Show. Greg here. Welcome to another show, the Challenge to Triumph Show, and I'm here with a very special guest. And you know when you meet someone, or when you first, whether it's in person or over the phone, and right away there's like this connection where you feel like you know the person. Well, that's exactly how it was when me and my next guest first spoke. We just kind of hit it off, and it was just an easy conversation. She happens to be from New York, so another fellow New Yorker. And her name is Jenn Edden. Jenn, before I introduce Jenn, Jenn is a sugar addiction expert. She helps women, especially moms, overcome sugar addictions. And it also helps them too with their kids and raising kids that aren't going to struggle through the same struggles as they do with sugar. Jenn is also a best-selling author of the book Women Unleashed, and it's on Amazon. And Women Unleashed is all about the highly sensitive woman's guide to radiant energy, unstoppable confidence, and a 21-day plan to kick sugar's hold on you. How was that?
Oh my God, that was great.
So I am actually in the car doing this podcast interview, and if you're listening on iTunes, you're not going to be able to see it, but if you see us on YouTube, you'll probably see me in the not in the driver's seat, in the passenger seat. And Jenn's laughing at me. She thinks it's great. Jenn,
perfect.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Greg. The beauty of Greg is like what you see is what you get. So
that's it. You know,
I just told him, let's just keep it real, you know?
Yeah, us New Yorkers, we're a little rough around the edges, you know?
I love it. Yeah, I love it. So thank you for that intro. And yeah, tell me how I can.
Jenn, was the feeling mutual? I mean, was there like a connection where me and you just hit it off right away, or was that just maybe it's just me and I just?
Oh, Greg, you nailed it. No, you know, you remind me so much of myself, which is what I love. You know, there's no facade. I have no issue sharing where I've come from, you know, how I got where I am in my business, my life, and dear God, my 3 kids and my marriage. There's just nothing more to life than being real. I mean, so I so appreciated, you know, you sharing how you birthed this podcast. I was really touched. Yeah.
Yeah. And Jenn, that's the motto of the show, that you have to be as real, raw, and messier the better. So we don't hold anything back here. You know, at the end of everyone's story, we all have our true success, and we're kicking butt, taking names, but we all have a messier
That's right.
as well.
I love that. And you know, a dear
You're in a safe
friend
place.
of mine, your mess is your mission. So
That's
my
right.
mess is my mission.
You're in a safe place. Don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you. So where would you like me to begin?
Jenn, let's begin with, I like to ask the question, what was one book, or if there wasn't a book, maybe there was a coach or a person that really influenced where you are today with the successes that you're having?
Oh, I love that question, because I always say, you know, to people that are working with me, if they run businesses, like, you never know who you're going to touch. So just keep touching people. But, you know, I would say it would be believe it or not, my nutrition advisor, mentor, coach. And he's the one who taught me, and I got certified as a holistic health coach way back in 2004, Joshua Rosenthal. He always said, you know, Joshua Rosenthal, yeah, he started the Institute for Integrative Nutrition in the 90s, and I graduated in the 2000s. And he said, keep it simple. Like, put one foot in front of the other, and don't let yourself get overwhelmed. When A, you're learning this information, and B, when you want to get out there and start your business and spread the word. Because overwhelm, as you know, just stops people dead in their tracks, whether they're right wanting to kick sugar, like who come see me, what, anything you want to do in life, right? Overwhelm stops people. And he kept me not overwhelmed. And I was able to really put one foot in front of the other. And right. And here I am.
And
It's
that's what
amazing.
exactly. That's what a good coach does. They keep you moving forward. They see things that maybe you wouldn't see because you are overwhelmed. So they kind of like, as one of my friend Geos would say, they give you more 20/20 vision when you're trying to reach a goal.
That's right. I love that. So I tell my clients that I'm their blind spot. There are things you don't know. And then when I work with you, that's why you have me. I'm the stuff you can't see. I mean, that's what a good coach does.
Right. So Jen, let's go back a little bit. Let's take it back. All right. I mean, I'm sure you had to overcome your own hurdles to get to where you are right now. So let's go back at a time in your life where you were like, maybe you couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. You were kind of you had some kind of struggle. Maybe it was a major challenge in your life and you felt like a little lost. Can you find a time in your life when you were dealing with that?
Greg, I love that. So that would be my entire childhood. And, so the reason I'm a sugar addiction expert now, I didn't just read a bunch of really great books and then, great, I'm an expert. Like, I am a recovering sugaraholic. I don't think anyone that's ever, has an addiction to sugar ever gets over it. And as a kid, growing up with mental illness, bipolar, my parents both depressed, not knowing back then that, as kids, we absorb everything in our environment. Sugar was my safe place. And something that my clients love about me is like, I'm as real as you get. So truth be told, I could eat a half a gallon of Turkey Hill mint chocolate chip ice cream. That's just going down. My mom didn't think anything of it. She would just buy more. And that's like a boatload of ice cream. Like, that's not okay. And forget the calories and all the sugar. That stuff made me sick. So I was a sick kid. I was really sick. And
sugar is a real addiction too. It's
oh yeah.
Chemically, it's on the same level as some drugs. What it does,
cocaine.
as far as
Absolutely.
your addiction to it.
Absolutely, and it really forget killing your energy in the morning. For so many women, and for myself included, I mean, that stuff will just cause anxiety. You just wake up and you just don't feel good. And, being little, you don't really know what's happening to you. You just think that that's who you are and that, you identify with that person. And it wasn't until my late 20s when I started really doing this work and digging in did I really see, man, I have an addiction. Wow, how I was raised, really did affect me. And like, what the hell am I going to do about it now that I figured it out for myself? And that's when I've just been on this mission. It's like 14 years now. It's not okay for people to suffer. It's not necessary. And because I'm not in that place anymore, it's people like you that I'm so grateful for, right? That help me spread the message. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to have food call you from the cabinet, take all your friggin' energy every night. These successful women and these moms, right? They're drinking wine at 5 o'clock. I get it. I got 3 kids. I just don't do it. I just have all these tools now that I use and that I teach. So it's profound. It's pretty profound.
Where, like, when you were addicted to sugar and it was like really affecting your life, what was that like? Or what was going on at that moment and at that time in your life?
What was that like? You're going to bring me back.
Yeah.
Every day was worse than the day before. Like, no joke. Like, every day I would like have little panic attacks and then just go to school. Like, okay, how am I going to get through today? And I would just get up, have some cereal loaded with sugar to give me the little hit, and I would go to school. But, it wasn't.
Did you realize at the time that sugar was maybe compounding that?
No idea.
Was there?
No idea. I didn't even know it was a drug. I just knew I craved it every day. And what the hell? Aren't you supposed to eat what you crave? I mean, that's what they talk about, if you're craving it, eat it. Like, I forget those saying. No, I used to just eat it. And so I would have crazy sweating. I would sweat. I would grind my teeth down. And
what else was going on at that time?
Crazy. What else was going on?
So you loved sugar, but there's probably an underlying reason why you turned to sugar in the first place.
Yeah, I was really unhealthy growing up in my house. Really, I mean, so I don't know if you've had depression, but seeing your parents depressed on antidepressants, and for those who are listening, seeing it now, I wrote an awesome article about, how an adult child grows up, having grown up with mental illness. But like, I've seen both of my parents in and out of like mental institutes, and It's fine. I always say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but not having the conversation with your kids growing up and then witnessing this, it just messes with your head, dude. Like, it just messes with you. You just think that's going to become your fate, So to me, the sugar was self-medicating. I was just like, right, that stuff gives you a hit and you feel okay for a few hours, and then you would crash again. So you keep going back for hits. I ate that stuff like 24/7. I lived on it.
So it sounds like it wasn't a positive environment growing up. Like you were around a lot of negativity.
Oh, I was around a lot of messed up stuff. Yeah, no, I contemplated suicide. No one's ever heard that one before. But in college, sugar really
How old were you when that happened?
I was anorexic. I was bulimic. I mean, it really makes your head spin. I was in college when I was like, hit some dark spots,
College.
Bad breakup. Oh yeah, college was rough. Honestly, like, all jokes aside, people can't like imagine, how does this woman smile so much and look so damn healthy now? And it's because I always tell people, the most spirited childhoods make for the coolest adults, so long as you do the work, that you need to, right, to get to that better place.
So you're in college, you're in a dark place, you're going bad relationship, you never had positive influences around you. You almost felt like, what's my purpose? It sounds like.
Absolutely.
Usually someone who's contemplating even suicide or killing themselves, it's mostly because they don't feel like they have a purpose anymore. So how did you come out of that? Or did it get worse, or what? Like, was this a long?
No. Even with the anorexia and the bulimia in college and the bouts of that, I'm a survivor. Like, no, you just pull through. So for me, so good point. So for me, exercise was my therapy. So I would run 4 miles a day in college. I went to Stony Brook, so it was called The Loop. And I would literally that was my thing. I had a gym membership. I'd be there 4 days a week. So for me, anytime anything got me really low, that always would like pull me back up to like getting by, But what's interesting is I was getting by, but I still got a 4.0, like biochemist, thought I wanted to go to medical school. There was just always something pulling me up, I think it was my spirit guides or something. I feel very blessed. But yeah, it was rough. Bullied. Bring it on. I had it all. People threatening to kill me. Yeah, whatever. I
Who's the
just,
bully you? You seem like a pretty tough chick.
oh my God. Well, now I got the muscles if you're YouTubing
Yeah,
it, but yeah, it's kind of quiet. Like who you see now, and I always tell people who
sure.
come see me who really feel like they're in despair and they don't see the light, like you were saying, like when you're having all these dark moments. Like anything is possible. Anything is possible if you just keep taking these small steps. So for me, it was the gym. I did that. And I had a one bestie who were still great friends, and he was my outlet.
Need somebody.
It's a step-by-step process.
Yeah.
It's true. It's a step-by-step process to pull yourself out of the dark place, I call it. Yeah.
All right, Jen. So you're in college. You didn't grow up in a very positive environment. You're struggling with a lot of things, but you are doing well in school. So you obviously graduate college. What what's next after college?
You know, Hearing me share all this, like, dear God, how did I even survive? But believe it or not, I went to medical school. I don't even think you knew that. So me in the
Nope.
wreckage moments, I applied for, I wanted to be an osteopathic physician, right? I
Okay.
wanted to help kids and I wanted to do it in a holistic way. And I just think people who have a mission and you're listening to this, and even if it didn't birth itself yet, you just kind of have to hold on. So I went to medical school. I took a year off, and the depression came back. And I realized halfway through my first year that depression is really just you're off your mission. So that wasn't where I was supposed to be. I was off mission. So I took a leave of absence and I went home to New Hyde Park, New York, and still battled the demons. It was really hard. Home, left medical school, parents still telling me, what did you do? Why did you leave? Like, there really was no support structure. And the bestie from college left medical school too. He's been my angel. And I worked in the city. He got me a job, started working at a nonprofit, and started to feel a little better. Still battling some demons, right? Early 20s, still battling the demons. And you want to know? I had a near-death gas explosion, and everyone has their wake-up, right, Greg? We were
Yeah,
talking about your wake-up.
I remember you telling me that. So let's dive into that.
Yeah,
So you did go back home. You're still not around a positive environment, but you're getting through it. You're working at least. What
getting through
happens
it.
with
That's
this?
the word.
You're home and there's an explosion. Tell me about this.
I'm home, still kind of battling sugar, like figuring it out. Doctors said I almost had an ulcer, and my life sounds really bad up till this point, but it's real.
Yeah.
Almost gave myself an ulcer from all the garbage I'm eating and living in that toxic environment at home. And that's when my journey started. I was like, all right, Jen, you need to figure this out. And I started to work on what my mind is doing. I started to unravel the sugar, like this stuff is really messing with me. And then I met my husband while I was at the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. Someone set us up on a blind date, and like a year and a half later, 2 years later, we got married. We moved into a home, and that home literally blew up. There was a leak on the street, gas main, and it went into our house, and literally we got blown out of the house. And
Wow. What room were you in when this happened?
oh my gosh, I was standing at the back door calling my cats to leave the house because I was trying to save them. And
Oh,
I
so you
mean,
had a feeling something bad was going to happen?
my husband told me he's
Okay.
my angel. I have
Jeez.
several angels in my life. And he's
Right.
like, Jen, let's go. And I was holding the door, no, no, no. And yeah, you don't. So when you have trauma like that, you don't actually remember it. I just remember my face was burning and I'm on the back lawn and I'm like, dear God, Joe, what the hell? He's like, Jen, the house is on fire. Like, we got to get you to the hospital. Like, you have a hole in your face. Like literally I had a hole in my face. And when you have trauma, you don't remember much. So, and they say your real personality comes out. So I'm like cracking a joke. Like, we're extraordinary, my husband and I. He's telling me, look, babe, we don't got to pay the rent next month because we were renting. Like, we're a funny bunch. But then, so when you lose everything, so I lost everything. We lost everything. Except like a wedding album and whatever clothes I had from a trip I was on that were in the car. And so when you hit rock bottom, I thought I hit rock bottom in college. I hit rock bottom. You can only go up, Greg. You can only go up. And
yeah,
that's when I went on a mission, like, oh shit, God saved me. Okay, Jen, what are you doing with your life? That mess is your mission. What are you doing? And
can we just go back?
I enrolled.
Can we just go back to that explosion again real quick?
Yeah, you've blown away, literally.
You left me at I had a hole in my face. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to get up real close. So
I'm a glutton for gruesome details.
Sure, I'll go there with the reader.
Yeah, like
for those who.
What the hell happened to your face? And like, what was the prognosis in the hospital?
Oh, dear God.
How long were you in the hospital?
Okay, I'll tell you.
Come on, give the listeners some details here.
Okay, I'll do it. So I was holding the door open, and the fire chief had told me, because I didn't know what hit me. He said that because we opened the windows to the house, what happened was we lit the pilot light in the basement, and it went off like a bomb because gas was throughout the house. We could smell it from outside the house. So he said, well, what you did was you had a glorified literal bomb in your house. Pilot light goes off in the basement. There's gas everywhere. House literally ignites, blows up. And I was holding the wood door open with my right foot. And the door split in half from the explosion. And it hit my face. But it saved my eye. Okay, now I'm going to have a tear. It saved my eye. And I remember at the hospital, they were sewing me up. So when you have trauma, you don't remember the trauma. You just, like, your brain shuts off to save you. So I don't remember being hit. I just remember my face burning. And you don't remember. And I just remember saying, sew me up. Like, don't show me the hole. Because my husband's like, dear God, Jen, it's like, it's a hole. And I go, just sew me up. And it was just that day, I just remember saying to myself, you live, like, what are you doing? I had a fucking awakening is what I had. And I've never gone back to sleep. Okay. I had an awakening. And let me tell you, that thing still hurts. I mean, it's right here, you touch it. And I always say it's my reminder. It's my reminder to keep moving forward. It's my reminder. So I had a black eye. I'll go there. I had a black eye, and excuse all the jokes, but like, my husband and I literally find humor in trauma now. And like, I wanted to buy a shirt that said, my husband didn't beat me up. My house blew up, because both eyes became black and we didn't have any clothes. So we had to go shopping in the middle of January. We had to buy everything we owned. And like, he's walking around with his wife with two black eyes. So we literally were like, we need to buy t-shirts. People are looking at Joe funny. My house blew up. My husband doesn't beat me.
Did he go, when you guys were in the mall, did he yell at you like, Jen, get over here? What'd I tell you?
So bad. And then we were going to buy a t-shirt. Oh my God, you would love him. Oil heat is best, because the fucking gas blew up our house. So we didn't do any of it. But, you don't know. They always say a judgment of a person's true character comes out in times of, really, in times of trauma. And so my husband literally, okay, so I'll just share this because no one really knows it. So we get in the car, right? And literally he hands me a Dunkin' Donuts napkin I'm holding it over my head. I literally say, Joe, what happened? My face hurts. And he goes, well, please don't look in the glove, in the mirror. You have a hole in your head, but look at the bright side. We don't have to pay the rent next month. And I remember thinking, like, this is what my fucking husband's saying, like, right now? Like, really, Joe? And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to find humor in life. I really think it's what pulls you out. So he's been my rock. And I'm not going to say when I smell gas that my heart doesn't race. My heart does race. What'd you say?
There's some good guys out there still.
Always.
I think
Always.
You and my wife would agree.
You know what? You attract who you are, Greg. You attract who you are.
Right.
So the good ones attract the good ones. And
so that
it was he was fine.
And now tell us about the journey on the way up now. Let's lighten this podcast up a little bit.
Yeah. Those like, oh my God, how is this woman still alive? And why does she sound so damn good? Yeah. So I teach people. So every day is a new day, right? So if you don't let the day before get you down, every day is a new day. So even now, I really consider myself a recovering sugaraholic because, look, I have my days. I'm not like, oh my God, I never have a binge or I never have sugar. I have it. It's every day is a new day. I definitely, there are certain things I do not do anymore because for those who are listening who have struggled with anxiety or depression or, have addiction in their family, that the struggle is real. So I just want to keep it real. The struggle is real. And yesterday I was having a not so great day. And I posted on Facebook about, the reason why I teach what I teach and I have these good habits that I've instilled, which we can talk about them, I've instilled in myself, is because when I have a really not great day, I just learn to shut the brain off and I just fall back on my habits. I know you get that. Sometimes I don't feel like getting up. And because I have so many good habits now, I don't have to think twice about them. I just fall back on them. And so when women come see me, they don't have good habits to fall back on. And that's why, right, they keep into that cycle of feeling like, garbage, eating garbage, having anxiety, then going to the sugar, and then, right, getting on a diet for the 10 pounds, and they never get out. And I teach how to get out.
So coming off,
how to get out.
When you stopped eating sugar, was that like a big turning point? Like as far as like your clarity and like your mental mood and everything? Like
I wouldn't say I've ever I'm losing you a little bit.
Yeah, the connection, my internet's not the best in here, so.
All right, we'll see. So just so everyone knows, it's not necessarily about fully being off, but being in control of it so that it's not eaten every day,
right?
And for me now, I'll just say I do not eat cane sugar. If I do, it's a rare occasion.
Yeah.
But cane sugar really is what lights up the brain. I find less drama sweets like honey, maple syrup. I buy the really good stuff. Doesn't have the same impact for me.
Yeah,
doesn't raise my blood sugar the way it does. So.
Yeah, I find like when I haven't had a lot of sugar in a while, and then I do have something that's very sugary, it does affect me like physically in a lot of different ways. I don't like the feeling.
That's a really good observation. Yeah, like I'd be curious to hear what you feel because some people are never off, so they don't know that your heart races, right? You feel jumpy.
Yeah, you know what? I never used to have anxiety, but there was times where like I would have maybe like a lot of refined carbs at night. Maybe it was like a Sunday pasta dinner, and then I'm having wine and all that sugar, and then I'll wake up in the middle of the night like with like sweating and my heart's beating out of my chest. So I gotta see.
Yeah.
So I would think all of that sugar is,
Yeah.
partially the reason for that.
Oh, hands down. I think it's the body trying to detox, frankly. I think
Yeah, because when
it's
I
the
am,
body trying to.
yeah, I notice my body when I'm eating clean and I'm not eating high sugar, I'm not drinking. Um, I definitely sleep better, and I'm definitely like I can handle challenges better too. You know?
Now you're getting into the mental aspect.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So a lot of women come see me because they want to look better and they just know that they're eating stuff, right? That's causing the weight to stay on, which I totally agree. But it's this other piece that is missing for so many people is that anxiety actually isn't a normal thing to have. We just think it is, but the body is out of balance. And for sure, sugar plays such a huge part in our tolerance levels. I would agree. In fact, for me, people say, well, Jen, do you ever drink? Because, right, like, I don't want to give up sugar, but I like to drink, but I know I need to feel better. And for me, and people who are listening can experiment, but I can only really drink tequila. And when I drink it, it's without sugar. It's just some club soda, a little fresh lime, a little salt around the glass. But
That's exactly what my wife does.
oh, I love it. Vodka actually changes my personality. Like, I'm literally not the same person. So I just won't drink it. It's just not okay to me. It really brings out a lot of,
Well, they say
altered.
because tequila comes from, the guava plant, that it's a little more natural, and
Yep.
I don't know. Jen, how did you get to where you are today? Like, you're a successful woman. You have women that follow you. You're an author. How did you go from like having your house blown up to now like having all this success?
You know what? I haven't been asked that question in forever. You got me like
Well,
thinking.
this is the Challenge to Triumph
Okay, so I'm
show.
going to tell you. So a lot of work on myself. For those who are listening, a lot of, right? Pretend like we're an onion, right? Who we are as a person and peeling away the layers. So people who follow you on this really awesome podcast, like you may take one thing from today, right? And that could be one layer of something that you've learned that I always tell people to apply. I've just follow my intuition, and it's a journey. It's a journey, and people think a journey to success is a straight line, but for those who can watch it, it's up and down. It's up and down all around. But the thing is, if you never get off the roller coaster, you eventually get where you want to go. So when I say, even in my business 14 years, let's be honest. I've had days where I want to quit, like not working. For those who run businesses and are listening, I've had like crap happen and lose money and people back out of stuff and just like, hard stuff, crazy bad investments. And you know what? I never got off the roller coaster. I just keep going because my mission, it's a good one. My mission has become more important than what I'm feeling on any given day. And so for those listening, right, we have our feelings and people think that our feelings need to run us. Well, now, like, I have my feelings, but they don't run me. Just like, okay, that was a unsupportive thought. Next. And you just keep moving. You keep moving. And for those listening, find a supportive group. I have just a backbone, of people in a network of people who, when I hit a low, I know you have the same, they pull us up so that you can just keep going. You could just keep going. And I just never stop. So I tell my people ask, how did you marry your husband? I say, well, because he literally never stopped calling me. Every day after we get off the phone, he would ask permission. Jen, can I call you tomorrow? And I'd be like, sure, Joe. And so then we eventually got married. So for like the business, or if you're a mom listening to this, or a dad, or just someone struggling, you know, use this podcast, use that book you're reading, and just like don't complicate it. You take one thing. If I learn one new thing a day, I tell myself I'm doing great, right? Like it's baby steps. And so baby steps got me to my book.
Yeah.
To my programs. Yeah. To my 3 kids.
That's awesome. That's great advice, Jen. Don't get discouraged. Just keep going. Stay persistent. And as my wife would tell me, keep giving yourself self-love.
God, that's not the truth. It's also known as vitamin L, right? Vitamin love. Everyone wants to have all this other stuff. And I say, where's your vitamin L? You need more of that this week. Your wife's pretty smart.
Yeah, you guys would get along. Jen, this was awesome. Where can we find you? Where can we follow you? And
thanks, Greg. You can follow me on all social media outlets. I'm very consistent. I'm Jenn Edden, JENN EDDEN, Jenn Edden, and you can check me out. My website will give you access to my book and my favorite 6-step plan, because I'm all about give me a plan and make it easy.
Need a plan.
It's to kick sugar and feel empowered. So you can look up Jenn Edden or jecoaching.com, and the best way to get me.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people listening right now that could kick some sugar, and your program is the exact place to go.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And
Jen, this was awesome. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing your story.
Thanks, Craig.
I know it's not easy to talk about that stuff. But
hey, the only way out is through, right?
Right. The people listening are going to benefit.
I love it. That's my mission. And thank you for having me.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to have all your links to your website and how to follow you and stuff in the show notes and on the blog, and make it easy.
Thanks, Greg.
Jen,
all right, everyone.
Keep doing what you're doing, and stay in touch.
Always. Thank you.
Thanks for coming on. Hey, if you love the show, make sure to keep following us on iTunes. It's the Challenge to Triumph show. And also head over to challenge2triumph.com and, follow the journey. Stay a part of the journey. I'll be sending you some really valuable emails and keeping you up to date with who the next guest will be on. So let's stay connected. And if you got a lot of value out of this show, please go over to iTunes and leave a positive review. It would really help boost the show. And thank you so much for listening. Take care.